And the Imam rahimahullah said, Iblis was jealous. He was jealous of Adam. And he became proud. And he said, you created me from fire. And you created him from clay. So Iblis was a racist. Iblis refused to accept Adam because of how he was created. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, looking at Adam, said to him and his wife, and eat from wherever you want, but don't come close to the tree. And Adam alayhi salam became greedy and he ate from it. So the Imam pointed out for us 3 sins, major qualities we need to take out of our hearts to be able to overcome this international tidal wave which is going against us. One is takabbur. It is pride. Proud of my language, proud of my family, proud of my skin color, proud of my lineage, my nasab. And with all respects to the family of the Prophet ﷺ, if your genealogy is enough for you, if you think because your father was a scholar, or your mother was a scholar, that you don't have to study, if you think because you are a sharif or somebody holy or righteous, that will get you into paradise, then Abu Lahab was Hashimi. Abu Lahab, father of the flames, uncle of the Prophet ﷺ, was from a noble lineage, but he is burning in hellfire. So your blood is not enough. And why should we be proud of ourselves when after a short time we will be going into the ground? And when you go into the ground, nobody will go inside that earth with you. Hasad, jealousy, jealous of another Muslim. A little progress is made on the masjid. She has a new baby. He gets a new car and the other Muslims are jealous of him. And this hasad burns up our good deeds. The Prophet ﷺ said, إِيَّاكُمْ وَالْحَسَدْ فَإِنَّ الْحَسَدَ يَأْكُلْ حَسَنَاتِ كَمَا تَأْكُلُ النَّارُ الْحَطَبِ. Beware of jealousy. It will eat up your good deeds like a fire eats up firewood. You go to Hajj and you're jealous of another Muslim and it burns up all of your deeds. Greed, shuh. This is killing humanity. And that is the essence of the economic crisis that people find themselves in today. It is the greed of the bankers and the greed of those people living in fool's paradise who put their life into pieces of paper that are worthless in themselves, have no value in itself, and they can change it in a country close to us called Zimbabwe. They changed the money. It used to be the most powerful currency in Southern Africa. Now it is worthless. And they print more every year with 3 zeros on it. And they continue to print it, until you have to spend millions of dollars just to eat a meal. What is some of the examples Allah Azza wa Jalla has given to us in this Quran as great knowledge? And Allah Azza wa Jalla has given us not only examples from people, but from insects and creatures. 3 in particular: Al-Ankabut, An-Nahal, An-Namal, the spider, the bee, and the ant. Study these creatures. We need to study, why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put these creatures inside of the book? What does it have for us? In Surah An-Namal, and I will go right into the translation because of time. In Surah An-Namal, it is saying that when Sulaiman alayhi salam, it says that, and for Sulaiman and his army of jinn and human beings and birds, they were lined up and they marched into a valley. And when they came into the valley, an ant said to the other ants, go into your homes, lest Sulaiman and his army would destroy you and they know not. So the ant did not think about herself. The ant thought about the other ants. And the quality of the ants is an amazing one that we need to study more to understand ourselves. Right now there are over 12,000 species of ants. The ant is the most successful creature in the whole of the universe, in the whole of this earth. Ants live in every single island in every country except the South Pole. Right now, under this masjid, under this country, there are thousands of ants, millions. For every human being, there's over 12 million ants. But how do the ants think? The ants think as one body, one entity. You will have 1 million ants in a colony, but they are one mind. They will mate with another colony until millions, but they all think with one mind. There is a worker ant, there are drones, there is the queen. The workers don't have to have a union to get their rights. There is no rebellion in an ant colony. Rebellion is futile. Why is this? Allah Azza wa Jal gave them this understanding of their relationship to each other. Remember what Allah said about us. He created us min nafsin wahida, from one soul, one entity. The ants also think like one entity. Each ant can lift 50 times his weight. 50 times his weight. If that was a human being, you would go to a truck outside and lift the truck. But do they make rebellion on each other? No. A study was recently done, and they blocked Argentinian ants, they blocked their path. And they found in the study, the more difficult you make it for the ants, the more they cooperate with each other. The more difficult life is, the more they cooperate, as Allah told us, وَتَعَاوَنُوا عَلَى الْبِرِّ وَالتَّقْوَى, that you should cooperate with each other in righteousness and God consciousness. The ants give each other salams. And if you watch a line of ant meets another line, every single ant will pass salams to the first ant. They give it with their antennas. And they give him a message. If there are 3 ants coming to one, he gives salams to the first one, the Amir, and then he nods his head to the other 2. Try it sometime. And you will see, the Prophet ﷺ said, the day would come when Muslims would have a salam al-khas. They would give salams only specially to their friends. And on Eid day, many of us, wa'iyadu billah, when we go to greet, we look for our cousin. Or we look for somebody who looks like us. Not to all of the Muslims. But the ant gives salam to every single ant. And that is a lesson for the Muslims. That we need to see each other as the people of the Qibla. And not to divide ourselves, especially Ahl Sunnah wa Jama'ah. Not dividing ourselves up according to madhab. Or according to Islamic movement. We are all part of one movement, and that is the ummah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The dua of people is answered in strange ways. And now there is an ant which has raised up in Texas. They call this ant the super ant. In 2002, and this is a scientific study, in 2002 there were only a few of these ants in existence. Now there are millions, and they are moving 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer. This ant destroys electronic equipment. The ant attacks machinery. It attacks computers. It attacks corporations. Whole major corporations in Texas have been closing down. The space agency of Russia contacted America. What is happening to you? They try to kill the ants. They put poison on the ants. But when you spray the ants, the first line dies and the second line has adapted to your poison. It is futile. They are destroying major equipment right now as we are here. A tiny creature is bringing down a mighty corporations, making weapons of mass destruction, putting equipment to destroy Muslims throughout the world. It is a tiny ant which is unified with its brother and sister, which is bringing down a mighty nation. This is an example for us that we need to reanalyze our Islam. One of the great Sahaba, Jarir ibn Abdullah, radiyallahu anh, when he was asked about his Islam, he said, بَيَعْتُ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَى إِقَامِ الصَّلَاةِ وإيتاء الزكاة والنصح لكل Muslim. He said, I took bay'ah, I took the pledge to the Messenger of Allah to establish prayers, to establish the giving of zakat, and to give sincerity and help and assistance to every Muslim. He did not say Muslim Arabi or Muslim Qurayshi. He said, لِكُلِّ Muslim.